Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob. I like sports. Welcome to another edition of JK Sports. We have another week of basketball in the books. More games being played, more fun games being played. It's been a really good time, if I'm being completely honest. And the first team I'd like to talk about through all this is, of course, our Miami Heat. Yesterday, halfway through the game, I really expected to come to this video being happy. I really expected, hey, we're up 73-56 against the Milwaukee Bucks, the number one seed in the East, holding Giannis and the rest of them at bay to 56 points in the first half. Meanwhile, we scored 35 points in the first quarter and followed that up with 39 in the second quarter. 3-point shooting was amazing. Defense, amazing. It was a really exciting game to watch up until the third quarter. And something changed. We go from scoring 35 and 39 all the way down to the third quarter scoring 25 and the fourth quarter scoring only 18 points. Now, what's the issue? You could easily look at our box score and be like, that's a pretty good game. You don't look at the Bucks side. You look at our scoreboard. It's pretty good. 7 players scored more than 10 points. Both Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson scoring above 20 points. And you look at it, it's like, well, what's wrong? You scored so many points. In the first half, you held them to so little points. Where could this possibly have gone wrong? And the unfortunate issue with us, it's not our pieces. Our pieces are great. It's the lack of that one top dog. Now, Jimmy Butler is our top dog currently. However, he's not going to be a number one player on a championship winning team. He's a very nice star to have as a 2. If you're a really good team, even have as your 3, because he's not going to score a lot of points. He's going to give you grit. He's going to give you energy. He's going to give you tenacity, which, of course, you need. You need somebody who's going to be a bully, for lack of a better word. And we have that with other players on our team. Bam Adebayo is really good in the paint. He was really good at scoring. However, kind of let us down last night with only 6 points. Very good defensive team. You got players like Andre Iguodala, experienced veteran who won himself a Finals MVP off of holding LeBron. I mean, we could argue a little bit about how much he really held him. However, we have good players. We have good defensive players, but we don't have that top guy. You look at the Bucks. I've had a lot of doubts about the rest of that Bucks roster outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo. However, they still have Giannis Antetokounmpo. In many people's opinion, not mine, I still think LeBron's the MVP. However, most people do think he is the MVP this season. You need that to win in this league. You need a star, a top 5, top 10 player in the league to make it far. Look at the teams that have made to the finals the past few seasons and won the finals last few seasons. Last year, you had the Warriors, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, even though that team was injured, against Kawhi Leonard and Toronto Raptors. Kawhi Leonard, one of the best players in the league, top 5, 6 player in the league, as well as, on the other side, you got Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, also arguably top 5 players in the league. Push that to years past when LeBron was going against them. Of course, you had LeBron, you had Kyrie Irving, one of the top point guards in the league during the time, as well as on the other side again, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, eventually adding Kevin Durant. You need those stars to win in this league, and the Heat don't have them. We have great pieces. Kelly Olynyk has looked great ever since this came back, ever since basketball's come back. Jay Crowder, Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn. Now, those last 2 are young and they potentially could grow into stars. But however, everybody I just mentioned, they aren't stars currently. As much as I love Duncan Robinson, he's not a star. He's a great shooter. However, as I mentioned in the telecast yesterday, he needs to work on other aspects of his game. He had 21 points, which is amazing. However, when you look past that, he only had 1 assist, 1 rebound. He needs to add more layers to his game. Tyler Hero, he looks wonderful. Got his jersey right here. His main issue is staying healthy. He's a very versatile player. He can score by shooting, driving to the rim. He needs to put on a little bit more weight. But you're asking players to grow, which hopefully they will. But you need more than that. You need more than just your young players to step up. You need to bring in a star. And I hope in the offseason we can bring in somebody, maybe a Bradley Beal, maybe, Giannis. If they don't win this year, if the Bucks don't win this year, Giannis is going to be displeased. And he's going to be a free agent in 2 off seasons. Maybe you target him. There's other players out there you can target, as well as we are setting ourselves up for the 2021 free agency period, which I believe has the legs of LeBron James, Paul George going to be available. Chris Paul. So there's going to be players, there's going to be stars out there to get. And if we have to trade somebody like, unfortunately, maybe a Bam Adebayo, a Tyler Hero, a Kendrick Nunn, some of our young players to acquire a star to go alongside Jimmy Butler, I believe they'll be really beneficial for us in fighting for a championship and just elevating the franchise as a whole. Now, second team I'd like to talk about, which is a team that I have been very critical of for the past 5-6 seasons, I want to say, and that is the Houston Rockets. My main issue with the Houston Rockets is they burn themselves out. Their offense is, it's either 3-point or layup, but it's a very intense offense. Mike D'Antoni runs a very intense, high-paced offense, and under most circumstances, when you're a few days out from the playoffs, when you're a few games out from the playoffs, and then leading into the first round of the playoffs, Mike D'Antoni's teams have proved to be tired. The Suns could never finish. The Suns could never get across the finish line, notoriously losing to the Lakers and not making it to the NBA Finals. Now we have it again. Notoriously blew a 3-2 lead to the Warriors to not go on to the NBA Finals. There's other aspects in that, of course, with Chris Paul getting injured. However, as a team, they have been inefficient when it comes to trying to win in the playoffs. However, this season may be their season to push forward and maybe even make the NBA Finals. The main issue, as I said, was the fact that they get tired. Now, we've had 4 months off. James Harden looks good. Russell Westbrook looks good. They're winning their games. They lost their record so far in the NBA bubble is 2-1. They lost one game against Portland, who, of course, is a tough team themselves. However, they have beat both number one seeds, both the Lakers and the Bucks so far. Their offense looks good. At full strength, there's not much you can question about them. Of course, if they miss their threes, like any team, you're not going to win. However, that's the aspect for every single team. You don't make threes in the current NBA, you don't win games. Now, their one weakness will be their height. Their starting center is PJ Tucker, who not the tallest of gentlemen. However, I feel confident with it. I feel more confident than with than teams of the likes of the Nuggets, of the Lakers. Lakers I'll speak about shortly. But I believe they could push and possibly get into the NBA Finals. Might have to go through a team like the Clippers, which would be rough. However, if there's going to be a time for them to do it, it's going to be now. Speaking of the Lakers, I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like at all what I'm seeing. Now, they've clinched number one seed, which is amazing. That's all you can ask for. You don't really need to prove yourself in the regular season more than getting the highest seed possible. However, as a whole, that team's look terrible. LeBron, as much as I love LeBron, he hasn't played well. He hasn't scored more than 22 points in a game. Anthony Davis, scoring-wise, has been amazing, except for when he comes to the fourth quarter. That's when he starts to shy away a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure what it is with him. Maybe leadership. I don't want to question a guy too much. However, he hasn't performed well as he should in the fourth quarter. Kyle Kuzma's been good. He stepped up a little bit, scoring between 16 and 20 points-ish. However, you look past that, and what is it? It's a collection of guys. They're all well-known names. You got Dwight Howard, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green. Danny Green, somebody who was a key piece in multiple championship teams. You look at the San Antonio Spurs back when he was on it, hitting many three-pointers, clutch three-pointers. Last year with the Raptors, he shows slight signs of deterioration. However, he still performed when he needed to. However, now he's only averaging 4.75 points a game. They don't have any pieces. These are all just old guys trying to limp themselves over the line, not in terms of injury, but just because they can't perform. And if LeBron's not performing, if Anthony Davis isn't showing up in the fourth quarter, who can that team beat? Who are they better than? I don't know. A few months ago, said they're going to be in the finals. I don't know how far they'll get. Now, I expect them to be in the first round, either Portland, Memphis, the Suns, who have looked incredible, 4-0 since they came back. But I expect the Lakers to be able to handle them. However, you look past that, the 4 seed could easily end up being, the Nuggets, the Rockets, like I just mentioned. Excuse me. And you look past that, is who can they beat? I'm not too confident. I mean, their bench is full of, like I said, a lot of names, but a lot of names that aren't performing well. Dion Waiters, somebody who they added to the team in expectation to be able to create his own shot, a good scorer, and he can score. He is a decent scorer. However, it's so incredibly random. I really don't like his jump shot. He brings it back so far over his head, and it's just not consistent enough for me to be a dynamic scorer to influence the game that much. And J.R. Smith's addition hasn't really done too much for the team either. I'm really not liking where the Lakers are sitting right now. I don't know how far they're going to make it. I really don't think at this point they're going to make the championship. But to wrap things off, wrap is a convenient way of saying it. A team that I've been extremely impressed by, and I've had a lot of doubts throughout the season for their legitimacy, that being the Toronto Raptors. Now, of course, when you lose a player like Kawhi Leonard, your stock's going to drop, as you would think, but it hasn't. They're still in the same exact spot as they were this time last year. They still got the second seed, and in a weird way, they look better. They have a great combination of height, of shooting. Now, they lost shooting with Danny Green in the offseason. They lost, of course, their star Kawhi Leonard. Hasn't affected him. Pascal Siakam stepped up really well into that number one role. You still have Kyle Lowry, very physical player. Isn't afraid to take a charge. Steps right in front of LeBron James, walks down court like it's nothing. Coach Nick Nurse. I love Nick Nurse. When they replaced Dwayne Casey, I thought it was the right idea. However, I didn't think hiring from within at the time was the right idea, because that was kind of the issue at hand, was that it was kind of a lot of the same. However, Nick Nurse might be the best coach in the East. I've been saying for a long time that Brad Stevens from the Celtics is my favorite coach in the East. However, Nick Nurse is putting together a squad. He really is good at changing up their looks, adjusting to their competition really well. And I'd have to say, if they beat the Celtics tonight, they could be my favorite to make the NBA Finals. Call me crazy, but they've looked impressive. They've gone 4-0, I believe, or 3-0, and they look to go 4-0 tonight against the Celtics. But they look great ever since they come back. Celtics originally were my pick from the East. However, if they come out and lose tonight to the Raptors, how the Raptors been looking, how the Raptors been playing, I have a lot of confidence in the Raptors going forward. What do you guys think of the NBA bubble so far? What teams have impressed you? What teams have kind of disappointed you? What teams do you think have helped or hurt their stock ever since this NBA bubble has restarted? Like I said, teams like the Lakers, the Heat leave more to the desired for me. However, teams like the Rockets, teams like the Raptors have really started to impress me. So please, get in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the teams so far since games were started. Who do you want to see in the finals? Who do you think will show up in the finals? But this has been another edition of JK Sports. Thank you all very much for watching. Please get down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts and opinions. Please like, please subscribe, please share the video. Please, I love to see more people watching these videos. I'd like to see more feedback from you guys. So please, get in the comments, like, share, subscribe. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.